Hello Enejereek. So this is my review of your game. I was like 5.5, 6 minutes in, but we're gonna start again. So, I'm gonna speed up through the beginning a little. So I see you're scouting, which I would be doing the same. And you're gonna notice very quickly, like I have, I'm pretty sure, like you thought about it as well, that is a completely shitty town center. There's 3 wood lines around it and that's it. So there we go. I was looking at the other side a bit as well when I was reviewing it, watching the replay at first. There's not too much of note going on there. So, and that's when I see that you're going for this town center. Well, you're going for this town center. I can tell that you will want to secure it later, because you put down the temple and then you're gonna build a wall and all of that. And so that's where my feedback when it comes to building placement comes. But let's just let it unfold a little. The funniest thing I noticed is that your opponent has no idea you went there with his raven. It went just out of range. Yeah. That was quite lucky on your side, in any case. I think that Hursar coming out, yes, it was his Hursar. So, see the big difference? Like, your gold mine is very exposed, that's just this wood line. He started to take care of his own. So in any case, you put down this wall, and I wish I could, I can. That's like 70 gold. That's kind of expensive at this point in the game for you. I read in the Discord, like in the messages you sent me, that Timo helped you figure out the build order, so we're not gonna go over that here. But at this point in the game, I don't think you have any business building a wall because it's gonna cost a lot of gold. The other thing is it takes a lot of time for your berserk to build that wall. I see that you're going for the relic there. It's funny because you just miss the Valkyrie outside of your vision. And so I've got a point of feedback here. So he goes for the villagers, you put them in the tower securely, that's good. Then you kind of assume he's gone, I guess, but he's right there. And for some reason you bring the villagers even further away. Now he drops the first fire and gets a villager kill. And while that's happening, your Hursar is just minding its own business, going back there. And so you're gonna lose 1 villager here, which is kind of bad. What I was thinking is you should, instead of going back to this wood line, you could go to a straggler tree, now that the Valkyrie has come. And then you can, there's a bunch of straggler trees. Then when you've got 2 or 3 Hursar, maybe a couple of minutes later, you can go back to the wood line. But then what I was thinking is, you're gonna see very quickly that there's no wood line anymore. And so what that means is this gold mine is entirely exposed. There's just the tower there. So it would have been better if, in the early game, you went for this wood line, or even this patch of trees. Because then if one of those gets burned down by the forest fire, your gold mine is still kind of, at least in part, protected by this forest here. And so your enemy has to go around, it has to go this way, or that way, or even that way. And now let's talk about building placement. So, now I understand that you built the temple right there because you want to build the wall and completely close that gap. Which, okay, you should be on the hunt, by the way, not on the berries. 0.67 foot per second compared to 1 per second or something. So in any case, that wall doesn't really do much. If the opponent wants to go that way, at this moment in the game, he can just go there. He can pretty much enter through here. And so, by the way, that's a brilliant TC. There's a gold mine there, there's a hunt, there's berries, there's another hunt. There's this gold mine there, there's a hunt in front of it again. There's this wood line that's kind of nice. By the way, if you had Hello? Oh, yeah. If you had scouted this, the better wall to build would have been this one. Like, you could have put the temple there, a wall there, a wall there, and suddenly you've got 2 gold mines, this hunt, this, everything. So, yeah, that was just for, well, the thing is, I know what it's like to play now, since sometimes you're just a bit short on time, and you have to put your temple down somewhere. And that was the place you found, so that's kind of how it is. But point being, if you hadn't built the wall so early, maybe, let's say, you build it at 7 minutes or something, you might have scouted this at that point and built the wall there. And so, yeah, that would be better, I think. The other thing is, this great hole is kind of in the middle of nowhere, so to speak. Like, if you see that our range, half of the great hole is out of it, so it can be destroyed pretty much at no cost for the enemy. Pretty sure there's going to be a raiding curve coming soon. So, like, if your opponent had like handled his hussar and everything a bit better, there might already be raiding curve in your base at this point, and that hussar is just going to die to 2 or 3 raiding curves. So that's another reason why building it closer to the tower would be better. But at the very least, if you're building the great hole there, you have the hussar on the other side. Same here, those are quite exposed. Like, if he were to have scouted that with a raven, I think your opponent just takes his 4 hussar, 1 berserk, raiding curve, the Valkyrie that's somewhere, and the reinforcements, and you are just completely denied this spot. This guy just dies, this guy are not enough. And the best you can do is go backward and forwards across the wall, which isn't going to do anything. So, like, if we go over the thing again, I think this temple would have been better built on this side of the town center, and you're going to worry about securing that entire corner of the map later. This great hole can be there, but if we take a look back at your gold mine, it's so exposed, even more now that the first fire has happened. So I think the actual better placement for your great hole is there, or maybe like either on this side, although there's a chicken there, so I would say right in front of the tower. You can build another house right there to protect the tower a bit more. Or, since I see that you're a big fan of walls, what you could have done is build a wall there, or there, and another one here. And at this point, maybe you don't even really need a great hole there. So if you're going to build a wall this big early game, I think it's better used somewhere around your gold mine. I would guess that you're going to be raided there, but that's about the point where I stopped watching the recording earlier when I restarted. And yeah, like, I get that you're trying to secure that corner, but anyone and everything can just walk there. There's no TC yet, so there's no arrow fire on this side. Okay, now I see you putting this down. This is still quite risky, because you haven't got very many units to build it, so it's still like about a minute. And you see, like, there's 3 raiding curve, 1 Valkyrie. If I'm your opponent and I scout that, like, if I'm in a good day and my brain works, I'm gonna go like, what units does it have? Like, maybe just a few of them. I've got enough to win that fight. It's Freyr, but so there's Gullin Busty, but there's no town center there, and this one is kind of far away, so I can bail out if he uses Gullin Busty. And getting that denied at this point in the game is just gonna be extremely bad. I would guess that's not gonna happen, but a better player might do exactly that. And even now, like, as you can see, you're kind of in trouble. You have to actively defend. That's all the more seconds that your Asgardian Hellfort isn't up. He lost 1 raid. Okay, he does exactly what I was thinking about. And so you just have to bail, and that's a lost Hellfort at this point. So I think it would have been much better to, like, wait a couple minutes when you've got more units to build the Hellfort before you build it. I'm thinking back to building walls. It might also be as simple as building a wall there, another one here, and suddenly if your enemy wants to prevent this, it has to go all the way around there, or all the way around here, and you gain like maybe 10-20 seconds to build your hill fort, it's going to be more useful than this wall, because at this point in the game, this wall has just been a drain on resources and on your building time. Okay, so let's go again. And now you just hold up in your base. This building is vulnerable. You've pretty much lost usage of everything there. And your opponent is in a fantastic spot. I don't know why this guy is here. Once again, if you build your temple, so like going back over the building placement, you shouldn't be taking that fight. You have no chance against that. But like, speaking of building placement, imagine your temple was, let's even say right there. You had one of your buildings here, a little wall or something. More units to build the thing, like instead of just 5 Hussar and another 3 infantry, or you might have that much, but like you have that much when you start the building, not after it's been destroyed. You would be in a much better spot to defend this. Yeah, so he shouldn't be retreating. Yep, and he shouldn't be retreating. I think he can just run after you. He's got the faster units whose throwing X-Men aren't gonna do much. You've only got 1 Herdman in the mix, so that's not gonna be enough to do anything. Now you use Golem Bursty, which you might have avoided this situation entirely, and he's gonna be quite happy to have drawn the Golem Bursty out. And now you're essentially down 2 god powers, which didn't need to be the case. You're behind on military. You lost a villager earlier, so you're behind. You're not. I guess he just mismacroed like right now and he's getting idle time. But he could be getting dwarves by the way. And he's coming for a gold mine. So imagine, let's pause for a second. Imagine there's one great hall here. There's maybe a longhouse there, or maybe there's a great hall there. There's a wall to close the gap here. There's a longhouse here. Suddenly he can come in through here. If he comes through here, let's say the wood line is still here. He has to go through here. He gets arrow fire from both towers, from the TC. The other option is he goes around. He's gonna, like, so as I said, there would be the longhouse there, maybe a bit of wall there to block it. So he's just gonna, at most, bash the wall down. And so you're gonna have the entire day to take your units back and defend. But at this point, I think that's gonna be kind of the end of you, probably, in this game. Well, he didn't do that too great. I think if he had managed his surround a bit better, or if he hadn't been so slow to actually do the attack move, you might have lost a couple of hours there. And gotten a lot more idle time. So that house, for instance, it's just right there sitting, doing nothing, waiting to be destroyed. Okay. Imagine that was there 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. So now he's denying a wood line as well. What was that villager dev sound? Well, in any case. Oh, okay, he's raiding there as well. So, see what I meant? That wall is doing nothing at the moment. And so, like, yeah, hopefully you get my point. I'm not gonna, you could have been on this chicken. Well, there's a whole lot of things you could have done. Like, let's envision a different scenario where you did get the Asgardian hill fort here. You did get it up because it was later and you had more units when you started building it. You were better positioned to defend it. There's none of this, so you saved up some build time, you saved up some gold there. And you've taken this hunt instead, and you have a hill fort to retreat to if you start being attacked. So, like, at this point in the game, let's say it's now when the hill fort has been finished since a minute, you probably would have been pushed off this hunt before, so like, you would have gone for something in the background, I think. So, being at the berries is pretty bad, compared to getting on the hunt and there's just hunt nearby. You could have been on this hunt instead. And so if you're getting attacked on this hunt compared to these berries, it's much faster to get back to safety than to go from all the way around there. Yeah, and then when you've finished up with that hunt, which you might have because like the berry bushes are 150 food and the hunt is 200, but you gather the hunt a lot faster, you would have been there like 10 seconds less of working time. And so maybe you would already have been finished with this hunt before he came around. Then you might have switched to this with the Asgardian Hill Fort now present. You'd be in a much, much better spot. I don't know why there's only one herdman there. Did he kill the other ones? How many herdmen do you have? Okay, you have just 3. There's one there, one there, one there. Yeah. He can take that fight, I think. Well, maybe not with that many low health units. Do you have... Yes, you do have cannulation, so that's why he took so much damage earlier. That's a nice hit from the Dragon. I just don't see you winning at this point. That's 2 units that you lost there. You're gonna lose that Dragon as well. Like, at this point, if you're gonna do anything with your army, it should not be building a tower, it should be fighting this. I think, given how many low health units, you might have a chance. Especially if a Dragon can be allowed to hit in the backline without getting killed. And yeah, I see you're going for 2 towers. So like, think about it another way. What if this tower had been there 3 minutes ago? Because you weren't so busy building this wall and being everywhere around here, but you had just sent a couple berserk here to build a tower. Then when you get attacked on those berries or on this hunt, suddenly safety is right there and not all the way over here. And by the time he tries to destroy the tower, you can just come with your army and defend. So like, what I'm trying to say is, like, where I'm getting to is, you're doing a lot of things that you should do, but you're just doing them at a completely wrong time, too late, for bad timing, when there's something else going on that you should be paying attention to instead. I'm pretty sure as soon as he notices those guys are gonna be dead, that's extremely lucky that he doesn't know you're here. He should just have killed that guy, I think. With a regen and a bit of micro, he could have made it work. I think 2 towers might be a bit excessive because they're still like 135 wood, 100 gold. I think if you're going on this hunt, or let's say even on the berries, just 1 tower is probably gonna be enough to retreat to. Like, towers are definitely good, I think, in this spot. It's just that at this point in the game, when you already are this behind on eco, that's a bigger of an investment than you needed, I think. Okay, he pushed you off this gold mine as well. So, like, what I remember thinking is, you didn't need to go so forward on the gold mine so early on. Okay, I see you finished up on here. I wish I could just go back to see what the building placement was like. But let's imagine your gold mine was about to run out when you were chasing him this way. I think at this point, seeing the low health units and that you can probably win that fight if anything happens, maybe even start shanking with the dwarves or something. You're probably safe to send your mining dwarves over here rather than here. You've got a wall there, you might as well put it to good use. I'm thinking, by the way, those cavalry on the berries probably went through that way, so if you're going to build that wall, you might as well put a little one there. So let's say you were on this gold mine and not on this one, you wouldn't get pushed off this one. You would be you wouldn't get that much working time. On top of that working time, it would just be straight over there. So that's a scary army, and it's regenerating at like 1 HP per second, I think. No, 0.4 per second. That's still scary. I don't know why you're putting this in the middle of nowhere. If anything, build it here, in range of your towers. Okay, he's just securing his gold mine now, it looks like. Double armory for some reason. Those wood villagers are very exposed, by the way. I would put them on this wood line so that you get 2 towers plus the TC, or maybe even 3 towers shooting at the enemy before they can get to it. I think, yeah, come to think of it, I didn't think about it sooner, but what if you put your Asgardian Hill Fort here, like 6 minutes ago, or 5 minutes ago, or 4 minutes ago? So it's that much further away for him to come over and deny it. You wouldn't have had to build that tower here, you would be protecting your gold mine and your hunt, and with a bit of a wall there, plus this one, you're also protecting this entire corner. So, like, imagine this again, but instead of having 10 units, you have like 7, and it's 7 minutes into the game, and this is not, this isn't 26 trading cab, it's 6, or 4, or 5, or 6, or 7, or 8. Suddenly, this is getting up, and even if he takes his house out to come all the way, you've got a few more units building it. You can start macroing a little to get it up while the fighting has begun, and then he's just not able to deny it. He runs away, loses a couple units as he does so. Yeah, see, that could have in your armory defending the tower. And this one is going to get denied too, and yeah, that's very bad. At this point, if you're in that sort of a situation, you don't have enough herdmen to do some damage, there's this tower. I would wager you can probably go all in and take that fight. Once again, it gets denied. On top of that, you have crenulation, so that's 36 space damage per second when he raiding cav around. So that's definitely a fight you can take, given the tower and the units you have. And so if you had gone for this much sooner in the game, let's say that it was up at 8 minutes, you didn't lose any units, or maybe just 1, and he lost 2 while retreating. Now this is at 7 minutes, you didn't get raided there, you didn't get pushed off his gold mine. Let's say these guys are over here and they're safe, then you didn't, like this gold mine, let's say this gold mine was also protected, you did not have to do a bit of macro to protect your dwarves. Suddenly at this point in the game, you are at the very least at the same score he is, with the same resources, with the same tech level. He's on medium units, you're also on medium. Well, my point being, you would have been in a much better spot, whereas here you've lost the game like 3-4 minutes ago. And then let's say, so that was at 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Now another 3, 4, 5 minutes have passed, it's 12, 13 minutes. You have exhausted this hunt, you are about to finish this hunt. You could probably put down a town center here at this point, depending on what your enemy is doing. He might have gone for a faster victory to take your buildings down or something. But with your hill fort there, maybe another tower a bit more forward, you would be completely safe. And if you manage to take that town center at around, let's say, 11, 12 minutes, suddenly you've got a launching pad for Golem Busty. He can't push off this way too easily. You would have a good enough eco that at like 14 minutes you can probably age up. So if it tries anything around minute 15, 15 and a half, 16, you've got Tempest and Golem Busty. Yeah. You're taking a good trade here. But that's a mistake on your opponent's part. To have let that happen. Like, if he was gonna secure that gold mine, if I was him, I would have either closed this gap, or if I wanted to go around, I would have left it open, but just maybe put a wall there, so my units can go through a gate and yours cannot. Yeah. Like if he wants to go that way, he might as well not have those two armories in the way. So now you're building another tower. I do think, again, one of them was enough. And maybe you build two over here because it's a much more sensitive spot. At this point in the game, you have like 5k gold left in this gold mine. You just don't have to be coming back here. Just sit back, don't take too many risks. Don't expose yourself like that. Okay, now you're taking the TC. This might be interesting. I'm curious to see where this is gonna go. Okay, he has been on 2TC for some time as well. You are so far behind on villages. But if he makes a few big mistakes, you might be safe to keep on living. Yeah, see that watchtower? What if you had all your villages there and you didn't build this here, but you started with this tower there instead? So then you would have two towers building, guarding this gold mine at this moment. This would be finished by the time he comes in to raid you. And yeah, you end up taking the fight before the watchtower is finished. That's still a bad fight for him to take, because you've got too many herdmen and enough Hussar to kill the Valkyrie. Okay, you're gonna build the wall again. I probably wouldn't do that in a game if I was me, because I wouldn't think about it, but just leaving a couple raiding cav in case you go to build the wall would be nice to just snipe them. Snipe units to build the wall with. Just build the hill fort, just get it up, it's gonna be 2 minutes. You don't wanna be, like, once again, you want to be here because you have these villagers on this gold mine. Now your Predisher is not gonna be destroyed, but once again, you could be right there, fortifying this position. This could be up already by now, like 20 seconds ago, probably even. Now that there's a few more units in the mix, you can probably still take that fight. Like, seeing you sort of come back into the game at this moment, and seeing the mistakes your opponent has made, I'm thinking that if you yourself didn't do the mistakes you did, you would probably have won the game at this point. I don't know where you put those houses there. You can just go over here and destroy them. It might have been better to just build them around the tower there. If you want to secure this gold mine, well, I get the point of securing gold mines, but that's a bit too many gold mines to secure, if you ask me. It's already 2 of them, there's this third one there. You're gonna get sniped. No surprise there. I don't know what you're doing over here. Yeah, those houses would be better put around this tower and around this one. See, what if those guys were on this wood line to begin with? Kind of lucky he didn't stop to kill those villagers, he might have gotten a few. Okay, so we're kind of back into the situation of the other game where you were raided on those berries around this hunt. Now you've got the towers up. And he's afraid of the towers, he's not even stopping to kill that low HP dwarf and kill another couple dwarves. So imagine that was the early game. He comes over here, you go to your tower, he doesn't get any villager kill, he goes back the way he came. That's, I don't know what he's doing here. That is very bad for him. Sniping that Hussar isn't worth it. He's getting shot at from both towers, even if he isn't at the hill fort. It's not worth the elder time on your guys. Now he's stuck in this corner, so they're probably gonna slaughter that every one of his units. If you want to do some macro, like some sweaty macro, you could have in case he went that way, you could have just put a bit of a wall or just two ghost buildings. Or put something here. I think he's gonna take heavy losses. Yeah, he's just gonna save 3 Valkyries. That's a huge misplay from our opponent. Okay, now he's coming in on this side of the new Outrush. I wouldn't be putting this down right now, even if you're gonna put it down here. Just wait for your army to get there. And that's why you can see what has happened in the next 10 to 50 seconds before he comes around. Now, let's imagine this had gone much better in the early game. You would have been set up around this town center, you would have this hill fort there. Like this is your 4th one, I think, so maybe you would have a second one here. Maybe you're just putting this one down here because you've got more units because you didn't get as much bullied as much. Now, all of a sudden, this town center, this space, isn't quite as important, and if like push comes to shove, you can even sack it, save your villagers, go over this side. You would probably be out of food here, but there's this hunt still that is quite secured now. You would have, like, let's say even these farms were there anyway. You could be working to put down some other farms here, maybe. Yeah, so, like, even at the moment, this is kind of, like, if you get pushed off way too hard, this is better to sack and come this side. But I think if you had been even better set up in the early game there, this would not be very important at all. Of course, if you can save it and protect it, that's perfect. But in case you can't, sometimes it's just better to sack a position. Just get that thing up, get that thing up. Like, one foreign experiment took it from 170 seconds to 80 seconds. I think if you'd put your entire army to build it, it would be up by now, and you would be taking this fight with the help of your hill fort there. I hope you're just gonna send your... Yeah, okay. That works too. Just build this thing. Build this damn thing. It's back up to 120 seconds. And now he's gonna come in and you don't have the hill fort finished. Although you have Tempest now. And once again, he's gonna try to... Well, imagine the hill fort is up. And maybe you've gotten another tower. By the time he swoops into this position, you don't need to use Tempest anymore. And you're just good to go anyway. He is 3 town centers now. Okay. So he's gonna go get ahead in eco even more. Bullying your dwarf there. You've managed to get back into this game, that's quite amazing. I am impressed. Didn't think you would be able to, although I must say he helped you a lot with how much he misplayed. Those towers are putting in work, by the way. You don't have too much pushing power yet, so are you gonna build any... Like, if you're gonna be pushing... Like, this is okay because this is a forward position, there's no tower, there's no town center, there's no hill fort. But if you're gonna go anywhere close to a TC, to a tower or something, it's better if you have a couple of battering rams. This still isn't finished! If you had one guy on it non-stop since the beginning, it would be up a minute ago, I think. And if you had your entire army, it would have been up 2.5, 3 minutes ago. And now here's the one with battering rams. I think you can, yeah, okay, you're doing that, that's great. It's still gonna go down. If you'd put the villagers on there a bit faster, that would have been better than to save the TC, even if you lost a couple of villagers because he used his Valkyrie to kill them or something. I love to see that you don't need that many units for those 3 goodies, so that's wonderful to see. That's army split. I like that, securing that gold mine for later. It's a point in the game when you can afford to do that, so that's okay. You might want more than just one unit building it. That's his role, so if he had noticed, he would just make a gate and kill your one unit. That could work. Well, where's that one? I don't know why you're putting it that far back. If you want to secure the gold mine that much, you can put it here and build it with your entire army. It would be up in like 15 seconds at 2150. And now if you put it like here, it protects this gold mine, it protects, at least in part, this entry point. Or you can put it right there. Now it protects this hunt as well, which you might make use of. It protects the gold mine as well. And if you put it there, you can just get battering rams out and take this out in a couple of minutes from now. I am amazed you are now ahead. He really misplayed hard. Yeah. Imagine that push comes 30 seconds later, but you've got 2 or 3 battering rams. You've got this guy on the hill fort, all of your units on the hill fort directly. That thing is probably down at like 22 minutes. Instead of you taking a bunch of arrow fire for 20-30 seconds. I guess he has that many goody because they are doing quite well versus throwing Axeman, but they're a bit too expensive to just do that. I think you can just turn around and take that fight, to be honest. Maybe not under the hill fort, but yeah. So imagine that hill fort was down by the time he comes around, and then suddenly you can turn around and take that fight, and I'm pretty sure you would have won it. And you wouldn't get fired down from here, he would have lost his position. Okay, I'm happy to see you taking care of that thing. So, I'm thinking back to the houses that were there that did get destroyed. Imagine your houses were around this tower, suddenly you would have had enough time to react while the portable ram is killing off the houses. You would have killed it before it killed off the tower. Of course, that's a lot to think about, but like in the game, that's just thinking about it while watching your replay kind of helps you think about it later in the game. That's definitely a TC you can afford to take with the resources you have now. It's important to get the pop, and that's going to help you catch up on villagers sooner. Like, if that hill fort was there, you could have put this new one here. Now he's ahead again because of his eco-leader, I'm pretty sure. And now that armies are sort of equalized. You've still got a few herdermen, that's pretty good. Happy to see that. You've got Fist of Renown as well, which is great. Like, I guess I'm just not gonna stop saying it, but imagine that hill fort is here, the new one is here. Suddenly that Fist of Renown goes all the way on the foot of his fort. You know, you would be, like, those guys would be getting healed by 2 hill forts now. This hill fort probably wouldn't be up, since you would have secured that position. Yeah. Imagine those bad boys like a few minutes ago. He should just sack this position, he's taking way too many losses now. Yeah. So this is the push that could have happened 5 minutes ago. What's going on this side? Okay, you're both fighting on this side now. You're kind of denying him this gold, he kind of doesn't need it yet. Although he's gonna... Okay. I'm happy to see that one getting taken down. From what I can see now, I think you're winning the game harder and harder with every minute that passes. Now that's an epic fight. With 90% base armor, I don't know how many goodies it would take to 1v1 a portable round, but it's gonna be quite a lot. That is also an epic fight. So he's now ahead on military, but I think you've got the stronger eco. You could use a lot more units on gold. Just take these guys to this gold mine. You could even sell resources potentially, if you have a market down anywhere. Oh, I can't see the trade. Can I? Oh, yes I can. Yeah, you could be selling resources. I guess one of you is selling resources at the moment. So you just dropped. He's about to run out there. He has to take down that position because yeah, he can also have this one, but now he's in a tough situation because any and all gold mines he has access to are very exposed. You've got this one which is much better protected. Well, it's still his wall, so I wouldn't say it's much better protected, but hopefully you get what I mean. You have this gold mine kind of secured at the moment. Once again, if those two hill forts are in the front, you'll be so good. I don't know where you're putting this here. Put it right there, in his face. Or over, not over here. The gold mine's about to expire. Okay. Good to see that micro there. And you're not gonna... Yeah, I love to see you repair the building with your villages. That's one of Freyr's bonuses, you might as well use it. Okay. See what I meant about he can just make a gate and come around? And now you're gonna get pushed off his gold mine. Well, if you have enough villagers, you can probably just shank, but he would destroy both buildings before you can kill all the battering rams. Okay, it looks more even now and you're losing villagers again. Oh, I'm not sure who's gonna win anymore. You've got the much bigger queue and you're going mythic as well, he isn't. So, in terms of resources and stuff, you are very much ahead, I think. In terms of tempo even, if you call that tempo. Like, why build it this here when it basically doesn't do anything when you could have put it there even better than here, maybe? Do you want to get out even more if you need or something? Okay. I'm curious to see how you're going to use that Inferno. Yeah, I think that's a better spot. You got a few kills, but maybe 4 at most. Maybe... I know it's kind of hard to use Inferno, but if it was a little ways back, I think you would have taken out this hill fort as well. You could have secured that gold mine. Maybe that Asgardian hill fort could have been there instead. He's happily mining gold. Okay, so let's take stock of the situation. You have one gold mine here, another one here, and you are pretty much securing this one at this point. He's only on one gold mine here. So you are about to gold starve him very soon. He's not gonna get to mythic. And now that the trade rates are lower, he's not even gonna be able to get to mythic by selling wood. He has 2 great halls and 6 long houses. He is, I think, a bit too low on military buildings. Well, it's kind of... Well, you've got many more hill forts. Okay, now he can get to Mythic if he sells a bunch of wood. I like how you've been playing both sides of the map all that time. Yeah. So imagine this one was over there, and this one could be here, or even here in front. Okay, you're winning this game. You've even been waiting in the back. That's so bad for him. Ballistas, I like that. You can just speed up. It's over now. That's a chemo market. If it was there, it might be 100 gold. So, it's been 30 minutes now. You should have lost before 10 minutes. But because your opponent just didn't capitalize on his wins enough and misplayed, you managed to get the win. That is actually amazing. That is a wall indeed. It's painful not to see an ox cart here. I mean, it's not like you need the trade at this point, but I can see why you would make it just in case. Just maybe don't auto-queue the caravans, just get a few out, and precisely because you have so much gold still available. Okay, you're on this one now. This one is still half full. This one is about to expire. This one is almost full. And now you can start to save up for a Wanta. GG! That was quite amazing. I'm very curious to see. Wow. He was so far ahead for almost the entire game. And he just lost so many resources by running around your towers and hill forts and losing the units. He missed his timing on your main base with his giants and yard. That must have been a tower fight or something. Yeah, you can see that you just don't lose as many units as he does throughout the game. You did have to sack a few Asgardian hill forts though, in order to save his units. So that was not too good. Yeah, he was so far ahead. I don't think he should have gone for that third TC in hindsight. That drained his eco a bit too much before it paid off, when what he needed was just keep the pressure up and increase the pressure. So there you go. That's your game.